So, hey, hello, aloha, konnichiwa, namaskar. A very good evening to all. On behalf of the Birla Institute of Management Technology, I would like to welcome all present here today to the 11th International Conference on Management Cases, ICMC 2021, which is jointly organized by Bimtech Greater Noida, India, University of Eastern Finland, and University of South Florida. On behalf of Bimtech, this is Rupali Singh, your host for the day, and feeling great to welcome the distinguished speakers, special invitees, academicians on screen, and faculty members, students, and all the delegates to the 3-day conference ICMC 2021. We keep moving forward, opening new doors, and doing new things because we are curious and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, Bimtech has been organizing this conference from last 11 years, aiming at international relevance and encouraging authors from all over the world to participate and share their experiences on a platform which is specially created for academicians, practitioners, consultants, research scholars, and students of management studies. It also encourages them to submit research, teaching, and teaching cases in various facets of management and provide platform for networking and discussion on their ideas. You may please excuse me for a different pronunciation, especially in the names at times. Thank you. Now, to begin with, we would like to welcome our keynote speaker of the event, Ronald Cyrenon, Professor of Environmental Policy at the Faculty of Social Sciences and Business Studies, University of Eastern Finland. We also welcome Hanna Lehtimäki, Professor Innovation Management, University of Eastern Finland, and Matthew Mularkey, Director, Doctor of Business Administration and Entrepreneurship, University of South Florida, for their continuous support, and our conference co-chairs, Sunil Mithas, world-class scholar and professor from University of South Florida, and Ville Viikko Pispanen, project researcher from the University of Eastern Finland. We now request our Honorable Director, Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi, to address the gathering and kindly deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rupali. It's a great honor for me to be part of the inaugural session of 11th ICMC 2021. The leaders of this conference, Professor Hanna Lehtimäki, Professor Ronald Cyrenon, Professor Sunil Mithas, Professor Ville Viikko Pispanen, Professor Matthew Mularkey, Dr. A.K. Day, Dr. Arunaditya Sahai, Dr. Anupam Verma, my colleagues, participants, and all those who are supporting this conference. Friends, I extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished dignitaries assembled online today from the national and international arena. It is heartening to see the enthusiasm to connect across time zones. Thank you for joining early morning from the USA, midday in Europe, evening in India, and late night in Japan. That is the spirit of connecting with ICMC. This is the 11th year of the International Conference on Management Cases. Thanks to all the participants and our conference partners. The conference is jointly organized by Bimtech India with Eastern Finland University, Finland, and the University of South Florida, USA. The conference has been a big success because all of you who have been contributing your work year by year. Some of the faculty colleagues have been contributing to this conference consistently for the last few years. I extend my sincere gratitude to all of them. Despite the conference moving to an online format due to COVID-19, the spirit was not dampened. We received a huge response and 52 cases were selected for presentation during this conference. We are honored to have our keynote speaker today, Professor Ronald Cyrenon from the University of Eastern Finland. Ronald Cyrenon, as has been said by Professor Hanna, is a professor of environmental policy at the Faculty of Social Sciences and Business Studies, University of Eastern Finland. He works also as a director of the Minerals, Energy and Circular Economy in Sustainability Transition, which is one of the strategic research areas of University of Eastern Finland. I also extend a warm welcome to our conference co-chairs, Professor Sunil Mithas from the University of South Florida, Muma Business School, and Ville Veikko Pispanen from the University of Eastern Finland. Sunil Mithas has been associated and is instrumental in bringing Muma College of Business on board as a conference partner. The University of Eastern Finland has been a big support to this conference for so many years. For the past 10 years, faculty and research scholars have been contributing to this conference. Let us welcome our keynote speaker, conference co-chairs, and the participants with a big round of applause for their continued support. This conference under the Center for Management Case Development, Bimtech, was conceptualized by the late Professor Judy Sardana, a visionary and a source of inspiration and encouragement for many of us present here. My respectful tribute to late Professor Judy Sardana. Friends, often there is a debate in the academic community about research papers and case studies. The case method is now used extensively by almost all of business schools in the world as a tool to show the application of theory or concept to real situations. It puts students in the role of people who were faced with difficult decisions at some points. One of the reasons case-based teaching gained popularity is because it is an active learning strategy, making students use their analytical thinking skills to discuss complex real-life scenarios. But accreditation bodies and ranking agencies sometimes do not consider cases as an intellectual contribution. Even some universities do not consider them for faculty performance evaluation. Let me share the scenario in India. NIRF, the National Institutional Ranking Framework started by the Ministry of Education, does not consider cases. The framework is more geared towards the engineering domain, which has been imposed on management education. They consider publications in a certain set of highly ranked journals and their citations, but cases are not cited. Amidst all this, Bimtech has its vision to promote case writing and teaching capability. Our Center for Management Cases Development, led by Professor A.K. Day, has taken up several initiatives to create an ecosystem of case writers and provide support to them. I am going to take a few minutes to share the work and what we have achieved with your support. As part of the CMCD, we have organized several free webinars and conducted many FDPs to empower management faculty and scholars in India with the knowledge of the case method. In this centennial year of the case method, Dr. Day has edited a book titled Case Method for Digital Natives, Teaching and Research. The book has received wide appreciation from many case experts, all parts of the world. To celebrate completion of 100 years of case teaching, a virtual panel discussion was also organized recently with eminent experts, which was attended by many case enthusiasts across the world. You may be aware that the South Asian Journal of Business and Management Cases, which we call in an abbreviation terms SAJBMC, shifted its focus from teaching cases to research cases, which has resulted in citations for the journal. After this shift, the paper downloads have more than doubled as compared to the last year. That means that cases of SJBMC are now contributing to the research literature, which has resulted in increasing the quality of research output of faculty members contributing to the journal. You know that every year we organize case analysis competition for students. However, this year the competition for second year students focused on challenging the research mindset of students. Instead of analyzing a case study, students presented the research component of their summer internship projects, which are nothing but a case research output. The pattern sensitized the students to the application of case research, wherein the faculty mentors help them in showcasing their research acumen. To strengthen the CMCD case ecosystem, the center has initiated the Case Method Forum for Management, which has been imparting different levels of workshops to various institutions across India to increase awareness about both teaching and research cases. The efforts of Dr. Day have not only got us entry into global business school network, but this year a new track was introduced, chaired by him at North American Case Research Association Conference, NACRA. These initiatives have been possible because of the constant support and encouragement provided by all of you. Most of you are aware that this conference is the brainchild of late Professor Judy Sardana, who was a dear colleague and ardent advocate of the case method of teaching. He was a thorough professional with eye for detail and a perfectionist to the core. We deeply respect him and miss his presence and guidance for the enormous contribution that Professor Sardana has made to the case method and towards laying the foundation of this conference. We are humbled to institute an award in his name, Bimtech Judy Sardana Young Scholar Award. This year, 3 cases authored by 4 scholars under the age of 40 years will be honored for their work, and they will receive the award, Bimtech Judy Sardana Young Scholars Award. To promote case writing, Sage Publications and Case Center UK will also award the case authors. To conclude, once again, I take this opportunity to extend a hearty welcome to each one of you and look forward to 2 very fruitful days of engaging discussions and intellectual stimulation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting the importance of case study method and its importance in the present world, and referring to the various Bimtech initiatives to promote teaching through case pedagogy. Now, the next agenda on the program list is to share the conference preview. I request A.K. Day, Professor and Chairperson, Center for Management Case Development, CMCD, Bimtech, and Conference Co-Chair to kindly give us a preview of the conference. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rupali. Thank you very much. Dear friends, on this momentous occasion, there are too many thoughts choking my mind. Since the time CMCD was assigned to me in 2016, 5 long years have passed. Really very long years, but to me it appears that it happened only yesterday. I must admit that 5 years back, my understanding of the case method and the market of writing and publishing cases were quite immature. 5 years back, I was little familiar with teaching cases because I used to teach with them, but was not very conversant with the proper use in class, nor the ideal structure of a case study. I used to think any well-written, well-narrated incident or a life history of an eminent person was a case. I was not aware of many things like learning outcomes, linkage to theory, Bloom's taxonomy, and so many other characteristics of it. In my understanding, there was a huge mix-up between the teaching and research case. I used to think if the dilemma of a teaching case is solved within the case, it becomes a research case, which now I realize that it is totally wrong. Similarly, about the market, I used to think that most management faculty can write and teach with cases. For a case-focused journal, my idea was that the ultimate measure of popularity was number of downloads. To my understanding, cases cannot be cited because any situation is highly contextual and no two contexts can match. Now, with this understanding 5 years back, with the help of some of you who are present here, we formulated the vision and mission statements as follows. Our vision is we inspire and enhance the use of case method in learning, teaching, and academic research in management. I repeat, we inspire and enhance the use of case method in learning, teaching, and academic research in management. With a mission, with a single mission, to build a vibrant and supportive community of both young and accomplished scholars by expanding opportunities to connect, explore ideas, and publish cases. As it would happen, within a couple of years, our assumptions were proved to be wrong. We noticed that most of the management faculty do not make proper use of a case in class. They are not clear about minimum characteristics that ought to be present in a teaching case. They are not clear about role and composition of teaching note. And last but not the least, most of them are not confident about distinction between a teaching and a research case. Further, when our journal, SAJ-BMC, was not admitted into the ABDC 2019 list, saying that there is nothing new in our journal, there is no new knowledge, we realized that all journals, be it a review journal, a research journal, or a case research journal, are evaluated only on the basis of citation. Downloads are nowhere even for case journals. So in order to survive and grow in a highly competitive market of publishing, our journal must create a space based on citations, not downloads only. Such revised understanding of the capability of the management faculty and the state of the publishing market forced us to add one more mission statement to the existing one. So our second mission statement from this year, we have taken upon to empower management faculty with the understanding of the case method. Because unless we empower them, unless they know what is a case and how it is to be used, what is the difference between teaching and research cases, how can they write cases? And how can our conference as well as the journal can grow with accepting good quality cases. Last year, or this year, which is running, was very, very hectic. And there were many salient achievements as well as some dark patches. I wish to share with you some of these. First, taking up some notable achievements. With the support of Narhox University, Kazakhstan, Bimtech introduced a new track in NACRA 2021. The annual conference was held in last October. In this track, for the first time, authors could share their experiments and experiences, not only cases, we banned case presentation. We said that you come with your experiments and experiences and tell the world. And this is the first time perhaps a world-class conference admitted this kind of presentation. We started a series of webinars, as Dr. Chaturvedi has mentioned. We named it as Case Method Forum for Management, CMFM in short, with an aim to equip faculty with the understanding of case method. With 4 resource persons, we delivered 135 days of faculty development programs, especially focused on case writing and case teaching and case research, starting from 27th of July. So in last 4 months, we could pack together 135 days of FTB. As you know, we have already come out with a book on case method, looking into the futuristic use of cases by digital natives under the pressures of so many changing scenarios. How the case method will retain its relevance, that is the focus of the case. And we are fortunate to have 36 authors, all are case experts in their own rights, contributing 24 articles, and they are hailing from 11 countries. And this is being appreciated by many case experts. Our next achievement is that the journal, which we used to accept any kind of cases in the beginning, journal is incidentally, it is the 10th year running. And we had to take it away from teaching cases, because teaching cases doesn't produce any new knowledge. That is why we were not admitted to ABDC ranking, ABDC list. So with continuous effort over past 2.5 years, we could change that pattern. And we said, now from last January onwards, we are accepting only qualitative case study research, with the hope that this method, this research strategy will enable authors to contribute some new knowledge. The editorial board and advisory boards of SAJ-BMC have been revamped with increased diversity and expertise and geographic region. Last year, I am happy to announce that SAJ-BMC got listed in ABS level 1, which is, I think, much better and much robust ranking than ABDC. This is my own feeling. And as a result of all these things, as Director Sir pointed out, the downloads of SAJ-BMC cases doubled this year. During last 2 years, 2 COVID years, the total downloads, annual downloads were hovering around 27,000. And in first 10 months of this year, it has already crossed 60,000. It is more than double. We, in one of our area of case competition, students and management faculty, they take the center stage. It is one of our very important activity, which connects with many institutes and brings up many authors for contributing to ICMC as well as SAJ-BMC. But because of our increased footprint, more institutes participated. From last 3 years, we started involving faculty, which means that our observation is that if the faculty is not involved, the quality of case analysis is not good. So we compulsorily said that every team of 2 students must be mentored by at least 1 faculty, and that faculty can mentor many teams. And slowly, we moved away from giving only case analysis, because we don't like that, because there is no effort to improve the skills of students. You distribute a case with some 3 or 4 questions, and let the students analyze and answer those 3 questions, picking up the knowledge or the information contained in the case. So what we did last year, we gave a case which is flawed, which had many defects, and we said that you identify the defects and tell us also that if you plug those defects, if you rectify those defects, how the case will improve, what kind of values will be added. And it was really appreciated by many authors and many faculties. This year, as Dr. Chaturvedi has mentioned, this year we said that because we believe that the 2 months or 3 months duration of SIP, summer internship project, done by millions of students, actually a major waste, because nothing comes out of that. So we wanted to probe that, is there anything research-oriented thing comes out? And we said we wanted to probe whether the students are applying their research mindset. Are they honing their research skills? And we were really amazed by receiving 70 very good cases, very good research projects. And these are all cases. Obviously, there are many areas of improvement, many areas of concern. During the past 2 COVID years, the quality of cases submitted to ICMC actually had declined. So we had tough time in selecting and rejecting those bad quality cases. I don't know what to do, but we are putting a clamp, very strict quality control clamp on accepting cases. This year, that is why it has declined to 52 cases. What we found, another thing, that in that initiative of empowering faculty with case method in CMFM, we failed to motivate faculty to write teaching cases. However, we got about 10, we started with 90 odd participants and filtered it down to about 20. Out of that, 10 were interested in writing, authoring research cases, and about 9 or 10 were interested in teaching cases. So the branch of writing research cases is going forward well, but there is nobody could really come up with a good issue in a friendly organization having a protagonist. That is the bigger trouble, bigger roadblock for them. Finding reviewers, experienced reviewers for cases is a challenge. And with qualitative case study research, this challenge has gone a notch higher. Need to create a pool of qualified reviewers has come forth, and we need to do something about it. Though we wanted from beginning that ICMC should have an academic partner in South Asia, because our journal is South Asian journal, but we are yet to find one. So my appeal to all of you who are present in this this evening, if you know anybody, either institutes or the person concerned, better will be a person concerned, please connect to us and we will try to approach to become an academic partner. Listing of SHA-BMC in ABDC as well as ESCI is pending, because unless we get into ESCI, we will not get impact factor. And of course, citation score of SHA-BMC needs to be worked upon, and it is yet to pick up. We are ambitious, as you know. We set very realistic, very achievable goals, and in our future plans, we wish to take CMFM initiative to the global level, and for that we need resource persons, we need partners, and we need more reviewers. We are approaching GBSN to tie up with us, and we are making those kind of efforts. We have to raise the standards of student competition to become global. And my expectation is that in a couple of years, there should be at least 10% teams coming from outside India. As always, our requirement is to build a healthy pipeline of teaching and research cases. Teaching cases will be distributed through the Case Center and Emerald Emerging Market Case Studies Journal, and research cases will be considered for SHA-BMC. Of course, improving citation and downloads of SHA-BMC is always our focus. And what we found that in that FDP and CMFM sessions, the participants were looking for some support documents which they can refer to clarify their doubts on demand. And such documents are not available. So we thought that with the help of you people, case experts, we will create very informative digital documents for free circulation. And on which topic? We are noting down during the process of conduction of CMFM and FDP, the points where really participants get flustered, get foxed. And with the help of those, by arranging them with some order, we will come out with small documents to be distributed free of charge. So we need your help in scaling all these heights. Let's progress together. I end here. Thank you very much. Over to you, Rupali.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the vision of Center for Management Case Development, CMCD, and the conference. I am profusely elated as I have the opportunity to introduce Ronald Cyrenon. Ronald Cyrenon is a professor of environmental policy at the Faculty of Social Sciences and Business Studies, University of Eastern Finland. He works also as a director of the MECES Minerals, Energy, and Circular Economy in Sustainability Transition, which is one of the strategic research areas of the UEF. He has been appointed as Honorary Professor in the Center for Social Responsibility in Mining, CSRM, at the University of Queensland in Australia, and was a member of the Board of Directors at the Geological Survey of Finland, GTK, 2017 and 19. Cyrenon's research themes have concerned environmental and natural resource governance, mining policies, CSR in mining, social impact assessment, sustainable development of communities, and climate adaptation. We are honored and privileged to have him amongst us today. Now, before I invite Professor Rono for delivering the keynote address, I request the audience to pose their questions during his address in the chat box, and if time permits, we will take them. So may I now invite Professor Ronald Cyrenon for his keynote speech. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for these kind words, and thank you very much for invitation to this nice conference. And it is very honored to be here, and very interesting to speak to your business school conference. And I will share now my slides. And let me see. Now it's on the. Sorry, I had to make it again. So I'm trying to move it to the right zone mode.
No problem, sir. Take your time.
Oh, it's do you see it now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, and is this changing?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, so my topic today is concerns mining, and as was introduced, we have been making research on these issues in our university for over 10 years now, from the perspectives of social sciences, and so mainly from political and sociological perspectives. But thinking of the whole change of one of the aims has been to thinking how this mining industry is changing and is trying to change towards responsibilities and more kind of to sustainability thinking. And my title today is How Dirty Mining Industry is Developing Itself as a Climate Saver and Responsible Actor. And so we will talk today about these very current challenges of in this field of how we get enough metals and minerals to the sustainability transition issues also globally, and what is the role of mining industry as an actor there to go forward. And as I was already nicely introduced where I come from, so I leave it here. So and just I can say that today I'm not talking from Joensuu, from our campus, but I'm now at my home in southern Finland, in the Fiskars, in small Fiskars village, which is in fact an old iron works village historically, but nowadays a kind of a cultural village and more kind of a housing village. But so to our topic. So we all need metals for our living, and that is kind of also, of course, very often when we talk with the mining industry. So that is the basic issue what they have been presenting. That yes, world and our societies, our lifestyles, we need metals for everything, and so mining is that way very needed globally, and the products are needed very much in our life and for the future. But of course, today we have a very challenging question concerning that what is then sustainable and responsible mining in general, and nowadays we are more and more often question how do we understand the challenges in mining society relations in the era of climate change and sustainability transition. So that what is the relationships, and they are very there are many kind of very complex relationship, and also developing kind of a new challenges in every corner from every approach, kind of to think kind of a new way that what is this industry and business like, and also that this industry and this business has to develop itself very much in the future. Historically, as our world has modernized, so we have needed globally more and more metals and minerals, and that has been kind of a rule for so many time. And that's even though we have been talking very much about sustainable use of resources, the growth of need for metals and minerals has been going on and going on. So and it's for every metals and minerals. So that is kind of and it has been speeding. The growth has been speeding, we can say. So of course, as we know from the sustainability perspective, there are certainly some question marks concerning this growth. But first of all, what is behind all this growth? You are very familiar with this certainly with these issues which we usually talk about. So higher material living standards, rapid urbanization going forward, increase in world population, also the rapid economic growth in growing economies like China and also India and etc. But now we have added there one perspective, one factor more, and this is the sustainability transition towards new non-carbon technologies and infrastructures. So that has become a kind of a new factor in this phenomenon of growing needs for minerals. But now we talk about in different metals, different kind of metals, and that is changing a little bit the whole story. So, but growing needs for minerals means growing mining activities, and so we have this and this need for metals for the so-called green energy transition and electrification is a huge. And there are estimations that like the production of minerals such as graphite, lithium, cobalt, these so-called battery metals, they should increase nearly 500% in next 30 years to meet the demand for clean energy technologies. Of course, we don't know what's happening in all kind of technological changes. It can be so also that the whole battery, like these battery technologies are certainly developing, and perhaps, at least I hope, we are developing kind of battery technologies which don't need so huge amount of metals, but also some other kind of possibilities are there. Different our big kind of economic continents or countries and have been very interested last 10 years about this issue of that how we can how much we need these new technology metals, these battery metals, and so USA, China, certainly India, all are figuring out that how much we have these metals, where are the possibilities for mining those, and what are the kind of technological options, and what kind of metals we really need, so that what is the perspective. Here is the like report from European Commission, which EU has been very active during last 10 years to think about these issues. So developing kind of a new mining policy strategies for Europe, and so here also the growth figures are quite big one, and the questions are of course geopolitical very much, and also of course concerns global trade questions, that where we can get all these minerals and what are the marketing systems, and where how we develop, for example, these battery metal systems for the production, and so that here is just this map shows very well that's how complex the systems can be, and it's the other question has been in globally also, that where we get, so that how the places that where we get these metals can be are they, how much they are in the countries where we have conflicts going on, or civil wars, or something kind of a problematic societal situation, so that even we have been starting to talk here now also about the earlier concept was this conflict minerals concerning gold and diamond, silver mining in Africa and in some other countries, but now we talk about green conflict minerals, and that has been studied also, that how vulnerable these areas and problematic these can be, also from responsibility perspectives. So here you can see some figures that how for example, who are the major global producers and major sources, global producers of certain battery metal in battery metal industry, and then from the perspective of EU, so EU has been interested to think about that, okay, what is the EU production and what can be done in inside Europe. And I come from Finland, and as you see here, Finland and Sweden are very kind of interesting places in the context of EU for these battery metals mining. So we have, in Finland, we have possibilities for developing mining for all these battery metals. So cobalt, graphite, lithium, we have already nickel. And so there has been a quite big interest towards in the European level towards developing these mining possibilities in Finland. But let's go back to the questions of sustainability of mining in general. So all these trends and then these these battery metals and clean energy technology metals. So all these trends together, so they mean, as I was saying, growth in mining is going forward in the future. That means growth in environmental and social impacts, of course, in locally very much, and that means more local and political tensions, and even different kind of conflicts in local level. And these impacts can be, they are in the both in the local level, so direct impacts in the operation areas and in these communities or in these environments surrounding, or impacts on surrounding areas, or more kind of regional questions or ecosystems, watersheds. Risks for watersheds is kind of a regional issue very often. And then also more broad impacts of mining concerning climate emissions and energy use, especially. And these green metals or battery metals, mining of those, exploration of those metals is not an exemption. They don't get any acceptance more easily than the so-called usual metals. So when we in Finland we have a now situation when where we have lots of exploration started concerning these battery metals, both cobalt, graphite, also lithium. There are international exploration companies which are very interested to search possibilities in Finland, but there's been also a rising amount of conflicts in local level. So people, local communities, local livelihoods interests are very much, they have lots of worries towards mining developments in their areas. Here's a case what we have studied in our research quite close to our Joensuu campus area. So in the Lake Saimaa, there's a graphite exploration going on, and there are in the same areas. It's a very well-known lake so-called lake area in Finland, having lots of touristic summer house areas, nature protection areas, and some monasteries. And people and these livelihoods and those businesses are worried about that. They don't want really mining in those areas. So we have these conflicts concerning this, that how to develop climate technology, metal mining, and then these local values and these sustainability questions are in the different levels. So why then mining companies should be worried about these conflicts or tensions? Should they just go forward and not to be thinking of some resistance issues in the community level? So today, internationally, we know everywhere, nearly everywhere, not perhaps in all countries, but nearly everywhere, conflicts are very expensive for mining companies. If they any kind of delay, 1 month or half-year delay in the operations, in planning of building a mine or any kind of appeals in court cases, or they are very expensive to the whole projects. It can be so very costly. And another issue is it can be very difficult then to operate if local people don't accept mining. So if there are all the time some resistance or all kind of difficulties, it's not nice to work with that in that kind of environment. The positive image for mining is also needed for international business and for financing. So these mining companies need today lots of international financing, and financing can get all. The one requirement very often today is that you have to manage your social and environmental responsibilities and company relations well. If you don't do it, if you have conflicts going on, then you have a risk that you don't get financing from the good sources. The modern industry wants also to be sustainable and responsible. So the international ones are very, very much concerned about their reputation. And then finally, climate concerns influence also mining. So also they have the interest to think about these issues and think about their kind of operation environment. So there's a great need for social license to operate in mining field. And the social license to operate has been especially developed during last 20 years in the this whole concept has developed in the mining era fields. But if this is so problematic, if we have so much conflicts going on, and so should we also think a little bit that how we use these resources, these metals and minerals, so that what is the real need in the future? Should we do more concerning the more kind of sustainable use of resources? And yes, there's certainly, I think there's more and more talking, and I think it's a very good sign globally that there's more talking today about decoupling of resources use. And so that we should really think about this, how circular economy is a question for metals and minerals, and how much we can do in that area more than we are doing today. And there's lots of to do. So urban mining is one of these perspectives we should really think forward. And it concerns very much also these battery metals and green metals, strategic metals. In fact, it concerns those much more than the kind of normal metals. So we like copper, we are recycling it quite well, kind of globally. But if we look at this same table again, there's on the right side end of life recycling input rate. So yes, they are true. In cobalt, it's 35%. In lithium, 0. In nickel, 34%, and in graphite, 3%. So we are really not doing so much yet in these technology metals for recycling. So, but circularity is gaining ground more and more in metals and mining industry, and also what is important, not just in mining but also in refining industry. But we are just in the beginning, and we can see lots of different aspects of that. So reuse of mining waste rock, reuse of mining waters. Reuse of waste from smelting and refining stages, but also using smelting technology for the use of recycling metals. But different kind of steps. Mining companies are taking, but they should really make more steps towards the circular economy approach in their kind of core businesses and operations. There are perhaps there are many questions, but one aspect for this development is that how mining and refining companies can change their business fields and expertise, and how they can integrate this circular economy into their core business and really integrate their activities. They have been too long away from each other, this kind of primary and secondary production. The other question is that do we need new companies, service companies between primary and secondary production? Both are going forward. Let's go back to these questions of primary production of metals and its responsibilities. There is the World Bank Group report, which has been talking very much about climate smart mining initiative during last years. So there's an idea that certainly we should get more developing of better socially and environmentally responsible mining practices and management practices in different parts of this new metals production. But there is certainly lots of challenges. So we have this whole issue of dirty images of global mining industry. And if we think today still when making some rankings or ratings, so metals and mining companies have some of the highest environmental risks across all sectors. So they are really kind of ranked, and when the investors think about mining, they don't think it very nice way, and so that this is a problem for the whole industry. But they have been doing quite much. This responsibility and sustainability schemes and practices, policies have been arising, and there are lots of different kind of schemes, voluntary schemes going, reporting systems, and financial organizations are interested to think about these issues in the concerning mining. And so there's lots of has been going on during last 10, 20 years. Let's go very quick look, some of the aspects which are important when we think about these main issues of responsibility challenges. So one is this question of regional economies and direct and indirect impacts of mining there. That is the big issue for many areas, so that how really to contribute to local level. One important aspect is that what is the relation to neighboring communities, industries, livelihoods, and very important is the relation of mining to indigenous lands and those communities, so that how we can integrate different livelihood, different industries in the same areas. Then the question that what is the real contribution to local and regional development concerns lots of different kind of economic instruments in use from the side of states and both in the regional level and in the federal level. So taxes, royalties. We need also in many countries this kind of anti-corruption and transparency policies. We need more and more community development agreements in the local level. And in fact, management of volatile changes in markets is important aspect to make kind of a more peaceful development when the changes in markets are huge. One of the biggest problem areas have been mining waters, and tailings dams are one of the big worries for many local people, and certainly this is an area where mining industry has to do much better they are doing. As we know, still during last 10 years, there has been lots of mining tailings dam disasters in different parts of the world. And they are mainly because of kind of a lack of good management, lack of using best technologies, inadequate resourcing of these developing these facilities in the in a good way. So these failures are not because of some natural hazards. They are because of the bad management and bad investments in these companies. So big issue for developing mining in the future, also for this new technology and climate metals, is the improving management of mining waters. And here, as you see, here's one conference which has been held somewhere, recycling mining waste, a new business, so that it's always all sectors inside here, that there's a question that what kind of businesses we can develop inside these problems, and to kind of develop new solutions for these challenges. Question of closure and reclamation of closed mining areas is a big issue. Landscape problems are big issues, and mining industry has to develop better management strategies here. Also, energy efficiency should be developed here also for these new technology metals also. And it has coming a big issue that how energy efficient mining operations really are. Community relations, they have been very important and still continues to be, as here you can see the list of different kind of management tools, planning tools, what have been developed in this field and what are in use. But the question is that we are going from impact assessment more towards management of impacts, and really to this kind of a making community kind of agreements with communities, and developing compensation policies with the local communities. That is the trend, and there mining companies are more kind of then participating in the local development. So finally, well, what is in the future challenges? So responsible and sustainable mining, if we think what it relates to in the future and now. So first of all, circular economy inside mining and refining industry. We need more and more eco and energy efficient technologies in mining. We need responsible practices with communities and regions, and mining companies' own behavior and expertise is here a very basic issue, very fundamental issue. But we need also acting from the side of government, so more kind of a strong regulatory, clear regulatory frameworks. And we have developed lots of these different kind of policy tools, but we need kind of a use of these suitable policy planning and management tools, not kind of developing the ideas, but making those into practice in different levels. So thank you very much. This was very wide perspectives to this whole really large area, but I hope you got a kind of an overview of what's happening in the mining sector in these challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your kind words of wisdom. The address was indeed captivating and thought-provoking. Thank you so much. Now we may open the session for some question and answers. So over to you, Riti Kulshresht.
So thank you, Rupali ma'am. So with your permission, Professor Rono, I'll take a couple of questions which are from the participants. So the first question is from Satya. You may like to deliberate a little more on this. So he asks, do circular economies have brighter chance for lowering inflation in the context that a component in inflation is due to non-renewability for resource? What has been your experience?
Sorry, can you repeat now?
Yeah. So the question is that do circular economies have brighter chance for lowering inflation in the context that a component in inflation is due to non-renewability for resource?
Yeah, I don't know that certainly there is, but I have to say, I admit I don't know very well these practices, so that I could really say that what's going on, but certainly it's going forward.
So the next question is from Professor Vishwanath. He wants to know whether there are any studies on scale and scope of operations of base metal industries.
Scale and
scope of operations of base metal industries.
Yeah. So that what is the scale is how much scale is influencing. I would say we have been. So certainly this is an important issue. I didn't deal with that. So the scale of mining has been growing very much during last 30 years, and it has been the main kind of business idea. So the mining industry has been thinking that the business is profitable as larger and larger mining operations in projects are. And this trend is now, I think, in the end. It should be changed towards something. We have had, in fact, a 3 years EU project concerning so-called small-scale mining or medium-scale mining, so that really developing small-scale mining, which is very not this artisanal mining, but we use the same, but really using modern technology and making industry scale, but in a very small scale. And the questions concern, then we can perhaps get the very kind of small deposits into use when thinking these technology metals and strategic metals. They can be kind of very small ones. We can get those into use, but the environmental impacts are much smaller. They are kind of manageable. If we think, in India also very much that how large mining can be. Especially, of course, the coal mining has been really large, but also these base metals. I think the trend should change. There is no some kind of it. The large scale can't be really sustainable. That's my opinion.
Okay. So since there's a paucity of time, the last question would be from Vikas Gupta. He wants to know what are the challenges and ways to improve lithium recycling be taken up from current 0%. It is a key metal in batteries used in electric vehicles.
So this battery, I hope you ask this after 2 years or 3 years time. We just got a project from Finnish Academy where Hanna Lehtimäki is involved concerning the question of recycling battery metals in Finland and how it can be developed as a business and what kind of technological options there are. Certainly the question is also that we have to develop the whole business fields from the battery metal production to the recycling systems so that they are in the same line, kind of in the same line that the production of batteries knows that how well you can really recycle the batteries in the end file when you in fact also use those batteries into other purposes before you don't use them anymore. That is also one option. So it's in the beginning really, and I think that is a huge area of field for developing a kind of new technologies. It's also challenging because the whole, if we think this electric vehicle industry and all what's happening there, it's also new industry kind of, all old car factories, but however, they are developing, however, new lines. But now we have to develop the recycling systems really at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rupali ma'am.
Thank you so much, Riti ma'am. So now we come to the highlight of the event. The USP of this conference is the publication of the compendium of papers presented in the conference, and this publication is released at the time of the inaugural session, ICMC 2021. May I now request Shreya Mishra to share about the release of the book with all of us. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible. So, like every year, this year too, ICMC has come out with 2 volumes of conference books published by Bloomsbury Publishing and co-edited by Villavico Pispanen, Joy Kumar Dey, and Shreya Mishra. A total of 48 cases are included in the 2 volumes, which will be presented in the coming 2 days. The first book, titled Case Studies on Perspectives on Entrepreneurship and Sustainability, includes 26 cases by 73 authors. The book is divided in 5 sections and presents an up-to-date view of the variety of case studies on entrepreneurship and sustainability in different cultural and social contexts in Asia, Europe, North America, and other countries. The cases provide novel understanding on a variety of organizations, from public to private entities and from startups to large corporations, on issues like circular economy, entrepreneurship, innovative business models, marketing and branding, and service businesses. The second book, titled Case Studies and Perspectives on Management and Digital Business, includes 22 cases by 49 authors, again divided in 5 sections. The book draws a vivid picture on leadership and management practices and activities in different industries and in different socio-cultural contexts. The cases provide insights on agile leadership, crisis and strategic management, innovativeness, digital business and education, and views on financial aspects. Scholars from all over the world create versatile views on leading organizations in a complex and rapidly changing business environment, where the emphatic yet decisive leadership and management capabilities are becoming increasingly important. This book also includes the summary of summer internship projects of 10 finalists of the Pan-India SIP competition held among the second-year management students. I congratulate and thank all the authors for their insightful contributions to the conference and the books. I particularly thank Jyoti Malhotra from Bloomsbury for her constant support in bringing the books together. The books will be available on Amazon soon for online purchasing. That's all from my end. Over to you, Rupali ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shreya. Thank you so much. I would like to share with all that by the end of day, all paper presenters will receive the e-link to the book, and the hard copy of the book will reach all the registered delegates within the next 30 days. So thank you. Now we move on, and it's my honor now to announce the winners of Bimtech GD Sardana Young Scholar Award and Sage Award. The Bimtech GD Sardana Young Scholars Award is an award of Rs 10,000 along with a certificate of merit and a medal. This award is being given to authors less than 40 years of age whose cases have not only been through a peer review process, but have also been ranked excellent by 3 independent professors. So Jason Cherubini from the University of South Florida. These are the Young Scholar awardees. Vasu Kiratu Vutisest from the King Mongkut's Institute of Technology, Latkarbang, Thailand. Anna Hankinen, Tampere University, Finland. Emma Saramaki, Tampere University, Finland. So Bimtech congratulates all Young Scholar awardees. I'm sure that you all are aware that SAGE and Bimtech have an association for the South Asian Journal of Business and Management Cases, And since last 2 years, we announced 3 Sage Best Case Award of worth Indian rupees 10,000 as instituted by Sage Publishing India in the inaugural session of ICMC. I would like to congratulate Sage Best Case Award winners. So the Sage awardees are Shritama Pal from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan India and Nurli Khan Alanova from Al Farabi Kazakh National University, Kazakhstan, for their paper Ensuring Continuous Learning Experience Through Creative Response During COVID-19 Crisis. Anna-Riina Tukanen and Isa Hiltunen from University of Eastern Finland for the paper Organizational Commitment of Young Employees in a Service Organization, and A.V. Shukla from Bimtech and Sangeeta Shukla from Bennett University for their paper Organizational Compassion Competence in Times of Crisis, a case of Bimtech's response to COVID-19. Now, Bimtech, for the Case Center Award, Bimtech shares a strong bond with the Case Center UK, and every year the Case Center selects 3 high-quality teaching cases to give the Case Center Awards. So it is my pleasure to announce the name of the winners. The first prize of £150 goes to Matthew Grace from the University of South Florida, USA, for his case titled Crowdfunding When the Crowd Makes Demands. There are 2 second prizes of £100 each. Vinci Hefeli from University of South Florida, USA, for his case titled Frontline Leadership in the Asphalt Industry, and Rekha Atri and Rahul Bairagi from Jaipuria Institute of Management, India, for the case titled Guthali Challenges in Marketing Indian Handicrafts and Handloom. Now to announce the case analysis competition winners. Ever since 2012, to develop analytical and decision-making skills in students, Bimtech Center for Management Case Development, CMCD, has been organizing the case analysis competition. In 2018, for the first time, CMCD expanded the scope of participation in this competition to Delhi NCR, and we got wonderful response. Looking at the success in 2019, we made it at a national level event. Now, last year, that was 2020, to hail the unrelenting human spirit in the current COVID-19 crisis, for the first time, we not only conducted the competition virtually, but also involved faculty in mentoring the teams and included judges from the institutions outside Bimtech. In 2021, we also introduced a completely different design of case competition for the second year students. Instead of sharing a case to analyze, we asked the students to present their summer internship project and how it has contributed to the organization on which they did their project. Now, the aim was to increase the research acumen among the students, a skill which is becoming increasingly relevant today. And yes, for the first year students, we organized a case analysis competition, and the case given to them was on sustainability. So this year, a total of 140 teams of 2 students each from the first year and 70 students from second year participated actively. Now, along with certificates, the winners will be awarded attractive cash prize of rupees 10,000 and runners up rupees 8,000 respectively. Now it's my honor to announce the names of these winning teams. For the summer internship projects competition, the second year students' names are Ronnie Sheila for bagging the first position from the Loyola Institute of Business Administration and mentored by Akansha Jaiswal. The second position bagged by Rakesh Kumar Yadav of Institute of Management Studies, Ghaziabad, mentored by Naveen Virmani. and Shubhi Srivastava also bagging the second prize from the Birla Institute of Management Technology, mentored by Daitri Tiwari. Now, moving on for the case analysis competition, the first year students' names are here. I am really privileged to announce the name of the first position holders, Kushali Garg and Vipin Yadav from the Delhi School of Management, mentored by Shikha Khera. The second position taken by Anurag Tripathi and Devika Mawa from the Birla Institute of Management Technology, mentored by Rahul Singh. And Kashish Ohri and Adarsh Srivastava also taking the second position from the Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies and mentored by Komal Chopra. So we congratulate all the winners for their commendable achievement. And with this, we have reached the end of the day one of the conference. So the essence of all the beautiful art, all great art, is gratitude. And with this, I would like to invite Arunaditya Sahai, Dean Research, Bimtech, to propose a vote of thanks. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rupali. It's indeed a privilege to propose vote of thanks for such a great occasion, which is both international and aimed at sustainability, which is the concern of all humanity. So let me begin with really thanking our keynote speaker, first of all, Professor Ronald Cyrenon, who brought such a great subject on the table, and that was paradoxes in sustainable green business. And that too, he focused on mining. And within the mining, he really went deeper, delved quite deep into the material for battery. I'm privileged to be basically a mechanical engineer and then later dealt with metallurgy, which dealt with minerals and mines. Gone are the days of the state. But through his graph, he showed so nicely how the mining output has traveled. We go on talking of really sustainable consumption, but it's not happening. In case of our older base metal, steel and aluminum or copper recycling in increasing, but in the battery, lithium, cobalt and nickel, of course, have got some reasonable recycling, but graphite, hardly 3%, and I doubt whether it will ever increase because graphite mostly gets converted into CO2. Its winding material also burns out. But what he brought to the table very much is the more than the geopolitics, also the local social permission, the social society and the environment and the eco damages. So how to make the mining sustainable? And at times, both as a student, perchance I studied in a college which was located in a mining area. A lot of coal mine, steel mine, and India also is one of the big mining country, be it of coal, steel, copper, even copper we are much less, but bauxite, aluminium, we are very, very high, world number 2 or 3. Iron, of course, is similar. So the damages that it is doing, he highlighted on the eco damage as well as environmental damage, global warming he brought on the table. And then he talked about ISO 26,000 and Global Reporting Initiative. All of these are opening a plethora of boxes where we can have, plethora of cases, be it research case or a teaching case. In both, this is an area where cases will be very, very valuable and which will be what the next generation of students need, and all the teachers, all these student case competition, if they are really clubbed with this, because that is the base industry where from all eco damages, all GHG starts, and it goes on and on. And even when we talk of battery-driven vehicle and battery elements, now producing those elements again requires so much energy and metal. So I don't know. I mean, we need to take this subject much forward, that how could we really make it everything recyclable. What we take from Mother Earth out, we give back to Mother Earth. Otherwise, I mean, Mother Earth, well, we shall make her poorer and poorer, and one day Mother Earth will not be able to feed us, be it with metals, with fresh air and water. You also touched upon, I mean, mining water wastage and mining water accident. India also has faced a lot of them. So this opens a big opening for case writing. I would encourage and I'd request all the participants to get in this, because this is the base where from, whether we talk of our humanity, our livelihood, that depends, as well as our destruction also depends on that. So I come to our other valued members, our Professor Sunil Mithas, who has been our old friend and a great scholar who has been contributing through his University to this ICMC. A big thank you to you, Sunil. And Hannah, Professor Hannah Letamaki, I generally address she's old friend Hannah, and she also is like poster mother of my research scholar, Subhanjan Sen Gupta. So many thanks, Hannah. You have taken this ICMC to the next level. Then to Willie, Vaiko, Pispinen, who has been really great source, to whom she is passing on the baton from the Eastern Finland University. A big thank you to you, Willie Vaiko, for really editing those books. And then it will not be out of place to really thank our patron, our beloved director, Dr. Chaturvedi, our executive director, Anupam Verma, and not the least, the convener of the conference, Professor A.K. Day, who has taken this conference to the next level, and SJBMC, his efforts brought it to ABS1, and I'm sure one day it is going to be in ABS 2 and 3, and God knows when, even to higher and higher level. And we all are really thankful to him, and the Institute also is grateful. And it's the ICMC platform that has been giving so many cases, so many reviewers, which continuously is increasing. And of course, at this occasion, I can't forget our late Judy Sardana, the founder of ICMC, whose last word, I was by the side of his deathbed, and his last words that he spoke to me was, what will happen to ICMC? And when he heard that the show will go on, that was the moment he closed his eye for the last time. I recall those moments. We remember him so much. It is with his efforts that we are really good. He led the founding stage. And I will fail in my duty if I don't congratulate all the prize winners. They really not only have won the prize, but they have contributed a lot to case development and ICMC. So congratulations to all the prize winners. And last but not the least, to all people, our IT team, our all coordinators who have been behind all what you are saying today and you will be saying in these 2 days. to each and every member who has been part of it. A great and a big thank you. Thank you once again. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sahai sir. Now, finally, once again, I would like to congratulate all the delegates of 11th ICMC 2021 for being associated with us. On the screen, we all can see the members who will be presenting their papers and cases in the coming 2 days of ICMC. Wholeheartedly, we welcome you all to the 11th ICMC 2021. Now, before we end this session, there are a few important announcements for all the attendees. The paper presentation schedule has been shared with all the attendees. Hope you have received the same. If not, kindly get back to us at our official email ID, that is icmc@bimtech.ac.in. I repeat, it's icmc@bimtech.ac.in. Before every session of your paper presentation, we will be creating a WhatsApp group as a quick support, and the group will be active till the duration of the technical sessions. And if you have not sent your presentations or postal address, you are required to share it in the Drive link, which has been shared by ICMC. So hope to see you all on the coming 2 days of the 4th and 5th December. And with this, we have now come to the end of this session. With the permission of all panelists on screen, we can wind up this call. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Call it today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald sir. Thank you, Hannah ma'am, Vile sir, Matthew sir, for sticking with us to the last.
Thanks to
Thank you
everybody.
very